Hey guys, so we're back with another one. So this will be a movie review. Now, one thing about A24 films that I think a lot of people should watch is that these films comes out and they're like very 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 interesting. They tend to have like a, I would say, a lesson from watching the movie. Like every scene is important. So A24 is for the people that it's not for the lighthearted, because these films, when they come out, they're very powerful, and it's up to people that has like a viewer's detail to definitely see what's going on in the movie, as well as what is the movie really entails or explain. So today we'll be talking about a movie called Lamb. Now, I did the trailer review before, so this time we'll be talking about it as the movie review. So Lamb is definitely a movie that not only a lot of people should come, I would say, watch, but definitely a movie that I think a lot of people, should definitely put in their, I would say, watch list. So the movie basically is very interesting of how nature could sometimes take over, I would say, a couple's life. Definitely a movie everybody should watch. It's not particularly fully scary, but it's definitely up there. So the movie opens up with a scene where we don't know what it is. We don't know how it got there, but whatever that thing is, it basically impregnated one of the lambs or the sheep that was in the barn. And whatever that thing was, it was snowing outside, and it was just like very eerie. From the moment the scene opens up, is very eerie, and a lot of things is going on. And then a couple of shots happen. We see that two people we've met in the film. One of them name is Mary, and the other one name is Akbar, and they basically a couple. And already from the tone of the film and the saturated background of the film, we already know that the film was going to be something very special. And the way that they shot the film too is very beautiful, like the scenery and the background and everything that's been going on. I feel that due to the fact that the movie doesn't have like I would say like too much talking or too much dialogue, it fits perfect with the eerie imagery of the film, as well as like the scene itself. The scene is what carries the movie, like the animals, the way that certain animals on the small farm area interacts with everything that's been going on is very telling what the film is basically gonna be about. Okay, so like I said, we flash forward to the what happened the night before. We see that one of the sheep basically gave birth. So after giving birth, we see that whatever thing that basically used the animal to reproduce, we never saw it. It just left the barn, and we saw a zoom in of all the sheeps are looking at directly whatever that thing is, and we just saw the breath of this thing just left out in the cold while it was snowing. We flash forward to basically the next scene where we see two couples. One of them is called Maria, the other one is called Akbar, and they basically see the sheep that basically, I guess, got impregnated by whatever it is, laid on the floor inside the collage where the sheeps are. I guess it's pregnant, and basically they're basically gonna figure out what is going on. So we saw that in the next morning, they started cleaning, and normally what farmers normally do, feed the animals, certain animals, if they're getting grass and stuff like that, right? And then we started seeing something very strange. So from each day that passed, basically the sheep that got impregnated by whatever it is basically started getting pregnant. The first two pregnancies, I guess one of the babies died, and then the other one just something happened. During its third or fourth private thing, it gave birth. One of the sheeps ended up becoming alive, and then during the fourth birth, it gave birth to something that at first we didn't see it. Akvar and Maria just looked at each other in a way where, like I told you, the dialogue in this film is, you won't find that many dialogue, but this, like I said, the scene itself carries the whole movie as a whole. So you have to bear with the movie because it's a very slow burner movie. Like, it has some horror elements, but it takes you time to, like, the build up towards it is very slow, but once it gets there, like, it's worth the wait. So gave birth to this whatever it was. We saw that at first Akvar and Maria just looked at each other of the sheep giving the last birth, and they just took whatever at first we just thought it's a little another sheep, and basically they wrapped the sheep around, and automatically we saw in the next scene it's like the eeriness came inside the house in the barn. All the animals are like looking at each other, or the expression of the animals says everything on the movie. Like, especially like they had a cat, and the cat is looking directly at whatever it's looking at. It's like the animals are like baffled at what they're seeing. Like, this is something outside of the norm for them. And eventually we saw that Maria basically they started breastfeeding the sheep. They basically start wrapping it up so to keep it warm. So basically it's showing that what length do parents will take to take care of a newborn. We also got a scene from the shot of the movie where we saw some crosses indicating that either Akvar or Maria, they're not fertile to like have like kids, I think, or one of their kids passed away, and it's like now they're treating this sheep or whatever that's got born as their kid, and we still don't figure out what this thing is yet. As the month prolongs in the movie, we saw that the sheep that gave birth basically started going around watching to see if it could get the baby back, basically to take care of it. But Maria basically yelled, telling the sheep to, like, the mother sheep to just go away. But I guess it's like the intensity of everything that's going around the house as well as the farmhouse is like, the lamb takes a perspective of, I would say, my prediction, it takes a perspective of not only motherly instincts of how to take care of like a child or any type of animal, and how they will find any form of normalcy to be happy. So when we started getting closer and closer to how this thing looked like, the sheep that gave birth to this abnormal, sheep is basically half human and half sheep as well. It has human parts, but it has parts of other. It has one part of a lamb, but as it goes down, it has human body features. So, and it has a head of a lamb. So whatever this thing is, it gave birth to like a hybrid of a sheep and a lamb, and they basically, the lamb thing is a girl, and automatically there's some also details that's in the movie that pay homage to other films. Like for an example, you have Midsommar or Hereditary. Those two movies, you could clearly see the imagery inside. Eventually, Maria killed the mother sheep, and all we saw is that she started having dream, and it's a dark, like I say, it's like a fairy tale, dark folklore. And as the movie prolonged, and I could even say this, the way that the movie is set up, it's like they're doing a recreation of the birth of, sorry about what I'm about to say, but it's like they're doing a recreation of the birth of Christ. How whatever this thing is basically gave birth in the winter, and all the animals came to see what the birth was. And from the birth of this thing, the thing basically gave the people to take care of the newborn of the baby. So the sheep basically has human future parts in its body, lower body, which is very, very scary and eerie. But it's very innocent. But like I said, like the element horrors are very underneath the movie. Like for an example, like one of the things that it had is like the flower crown, which is very similar to Midsommar, and how the whole movie, the way it's directed, like even like Egvar has like a brother who came to see Maria and Agvar, and Maria ended up having a sexual feeling encounter with the brother. It shows that like it's like she wanted the husband to be gone just to be in the position of taking over. Like the way the movie portrays everything is like whatever this thing was, and I'm not gonna spoil it so you guys could go watch the movie. Whatever the parent figure of this sheep hybrid was, it's like it was testing the human, I would say not will, but the human behavior towards other things to take it. Like they started well by taking care of the animal and stuff, like the human hybrid, but when it saw that, I guess she was fornicating and doing all these things, it's like it didn't trust it anymore. Like that's why it came back to get whoever that it want. Like at the end of the movie, I'm not gonna spoil it, but this is where the element horror came in and gave us the jump scare. Like I wish they could have explained us more about what really went down in the movie, but it's up to interpretation of what you think the movie was basically saying. But at the end, she basically took like a big breath. It's like not out of cry, but like saying that this is finally over, I can move on. It's like she didn't feel too much shock that when the husband passed away, and it feels as if they were having problems of having kids in the first place. So the fact that they adopted a kid that's not theirs and that was created out of some other type of way, but they still managed to learn how to like treat it like human, to like make it more human, but it's not human. It goes to show that sometimes nature could be so twisted that life comes in different forms that you will never understand. The movie plays a very strong detail of man versus nature. Like what belongs in nature stays with nature, what belongs with man stays with man. Like the movie very, very predicts what's the tone of it. Like you may raise something and treat it like human, but at the end of the day it's not human. No matter how much you could put something together to betray something, you can't put it as you. And they were even thinking of how to make like the person or the animal very human like. But yeah, the movie was very good. I gave it a 10 out of 9 out of 10. But definitely you guys should watch it. It's very good. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but like the ending is very crazy. So it's very crazy of how the ending is. But like I tell you guys, there will be a part 2 to the video. Basically explain like what did I think about the movie when it comes to like the certain scenes and how they carry the movie as a whole. Like I could definitely say this movie is worth watching, and it's like I said again, it's up to interpretation of what do you think the movie was trying to say. But the message I really got from the movie for my first part of the video was that not everything you could share with the world, especially like if they meet the little lamb baby, which is named Ida, which was what they named it. Like how would that baby cope with the existence of other people around it? You know, they live in a small area where there's no people to be found. That's another thing that's very eerie. The brother came to see, you know, them because he didn't have nowhere to stay. But the way the movie is structured and the way that it's less dialogue, but like there's so much happening at the same time. Every scene is important, so you have to glue yourself and watch every scene in order for you to, you know, absorb what the movies entail. Because there's the eye movement, the body postures, like all these are important in this movie. So like I said, part 2 is coming up, but make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in part 2 video. But like I said, this movie is very worth watching. Bye bye.